One. Hey everyone, it's Oscar night. Almost. And you know what? What that means, it's prediction time, and I've been studying all the nominees. I've been analyzing all the buzz. I've been watching all the critics, the Golden Globes. They don't matter, but I watch them anyways. I watched the BAFTA Awards, the SAG Awards, DJ, PGA, WGA, Cinematographers Guild, Editing Guilds, all the guilds. So I'm ready to drop some hot takes that might just blow your mind off. But forget the safe bets. We're diving deep.
No doubt, there would be no mystery, and therefore no need for faith.
200 people in that room, and each one wants me to be somebody else.
To listen is to accept.
This prophecy is how they enslave us!
This is a conclave, Aldo. It's not a war.
It is a war, and you have to commit to a side.
You can't escape from yourself.
I know. I put myself in another place.
Don't try to impress anyone. These are yours, yes?
This isn't the fight.
I'm gonna love that.
It's no coincidence that fate brought us together.
Maybe I'll show you the way.
Did you ever listen to the music you're telling me not to play?
You should be careful, Thomas.
The people here, they do not want us here.
I will love you as long as I breathe.
Let's just get right into it. Best Picture. The nominees are Emilia Perez, Netflix; Nickel Boys, Amazon MGM; I'm Still Here, Sony Pictures; Wicked, Universal Pictures; Dune Part 2, Warner Brothers; The Substance, it's a French film; A Complete Unknown, 20th Century, Disney; The Brutalist, A24; Honora is Neon; and Conclave is Focus Features, Universal Pictures. Now, let's get into this. So, the Best Picture has a preferential ballot where they rank them from first, second, third, fourth, all the way down to number 10. So, the Producers Guild and the Academy Awards both use the same voting principles of the preferential ballots. You may have heard that before. First, you have to rank first, second, third, fourth of your choices. Now, in years past, the PGA is usually an indicator of what's going to win Best Picture. And it comes to about a 90% odds, give or take, here or there. So whoever wins the PGA has a 90% chance of winning. Now, those other factors are, like BAFTA is a huge international voters that are now part of the Academy members. Because as you win an Oscar or get nominated for an Oscar, you become you're eligible to become an Academy member, so it allows you to vote. So that field broadens. So the BAFTA in years past has been gaining more and more traction as having a say in the Academy Awards. The Screen Actors Guild, those actors is the largest branch of the Academy Awards. So there are more actors who are Academy members than any other field. So the Screen Actors Guild has a SAG Ensemble, which is their version of Best Picture. That also, in years past, has been becoming another indicator of what might win Best Picture. So, while we factor in all these numbers and stuff, for example, in 2019, 1917 won BAFTA and it won PGA. So it had the 90% odds plus the international sport, so we thought it was going to win Best Picture. But what happened was SAG Ensemble gave it to Parasite. Also, they did the same thing with Coda. And then that ended up winning Best Picture. So we have to gauge it. This year, the PGA winner was Honora. So it has Honora, and it has a 90% odds of winning. But Conclave won Best Film at BAFTA, and it also won SAG Ensemble at SAG. So we now know the Best Picture is really between Anora and Conclave, and it clearly is probably the best way to do is there are films at the bottom of the number 10, like probably Emilia Perez or I'm Still Here or The Substance or Nickel Boys. Even a completely unknown, they're not going to get 51% of the vote, because when you add up all the votes, whoever gets 51% wins. But if nobody gets 51% of the vote, they then go to like the lowest ranked ones and say let's say Nickel Boys only got 4 or 5. They'll say, okay, well, we don't want, we're first vote, we'll throw it away, and what is your second place choice? So if they say the Brutalist, we'll add that to the Brutalist category, and the Substance. Okay, your first vote doesn't count. What's your second vote? And you say, oh, we want this to be a Nora. Okay, so we add that to the Nora category. So we don't know, but we know it's going to come down to Conclave and Anora, and I guess whoever has the most second and third place votes of these other Academy members might give it closer to 50%. So I'm thinking Conclave is probably going to have more number 2, number 3 votes than Anora, where Anora might be somebody's third or fourth vote of the other nominees. So I think Conclave is going to win Best Picture. Now, for Best Director, Anora, Sean Baker won the Directors Guild Award. So he's got a 90% odds of winning the DGA. So I think he's probably going to win it, but the BAFTA Best Director was Brady Corbett for The Brutalist. So, but I think Sean Baker, because, like I said, picture director, and I think Sean Baker, he's been making movies. This is like his 7th or 8th movie, and each movie, it's always like $100,000 or $1 million. I mean, Honore did it for $5 million, shot in New York City. Brady Corbett did an epic movie shot in 70 millimeter and with stars, and did for $10 million. Equally impressive, but this is his 3rd film, and the first 2 were not necessarily box office successes or critical successes. So this is his first sort of somewhat critical success. So I think the Academy might think he's going to get here sooner. So I think Sean Baker is going to win Best Director. Now, Best Actress is, you got Demi Moore, who won SAG, and you got Mikey Madison, who won BAFTA. But you also have Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here, who won the Golden Globes Best Actress for the drama category. Now, Golden Globes doesn't matter, but Fernanda Torres was not nominated for BAFTA, was not nominated for SAG. So we don't know, does she help or hurt having her in the field? Does it, boost her support? I also don't know how many Academy members are Brazilians or fans of Brazil. Brazil has also done really well. Fernando Torres' mom was nominated for Central Station back in the 90s. Walter Salles' films have been won and been nominated. So there's definitely a love of Brazilian movies, and specifically Walter Salles. And so, so I'm going to say Demi Moore is going to win Best Actress, because I think she's got the narrative we saw in the past with Brendan Fraser and The Whale. She, like that speech that Demi Moore gave at the Golden Globes, which doesn't matter, but it was the first speech before all the votings and nominations. And so she got her narrative out that somebody's told her that she wasn't an Oscar type of actress. She's a popcorn actress. So she said, and I believe that. And you guys are telling me that maybe I'm not. Maybe I am an Oscar actress. So there is that narrative, that comeback. So I think Hollywood loves that comeback narrative. Mikey Madison is a young actress who's is going to do a lot of stuff. And the Anju, like we start with Brie Larson in the '90s, in the 2000s, and Jennifer Lawrence. Hollywood does tend to like the young actress and give her an award, but I think they're slowly moving away from that. If you're looking at all the last few years, and so yeah, so I feel like Demi Moore is going to get this for Best Actress. Now, Best Actor, uh, Adrian Brody for The Brutalist won the BAFTAs for Best Actor. He's also won the Golden Globe, and he's also won Critics' Choice. Of course, they don't matter, but so BAFTA has Adrian Brody. SAG threw a curveball and gave it to Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown for playing Bob Dylan, singing like Bob Dylan, acting like Bob Dylan, and playing the guitar like Bob Dylan. So now we know the race for Best Actor is between Timothy Chalamet and Adrian Brody. Now, what's interesting is Adrian Brody has won prior back in the early 2000s. I think it was 2002 or 2003 for The Pianist, and it was 2001 maybe. But anyways, he won for The Pianist, and he's the youngest Best Actor winner. Now, if Timothy Chalamet wins today, he unseats Adrian Brody as the youngest Best Actor winner. So, which is interesting. So, Adrian Brody has a record as the youngest Best Actor winner, but Timothy Chalamet, his competition, could unseat that. Now, Adrian Brody, if he wins, he can have 2 Oscars. Al Pacino only has one Best Actor Oscar, and Denzel Washington have one. Denzel Washington, Robert De Niro has one for acting, one for supporting. But I don't, we saw it with Tom Hanks. He didn't get a 3rd Oscar. But he got 2 back-to-back Oscars. So the Academy are very reluctant. Like Jack Nicholson took him a long time to get that 3rd Oscar. Daniel Lewis took him a while to get that 3rd Oscar. So the Academy I think they're aware of, like, oh, Hilary Swank's got 2 Oscars. So listen, Adrian Brody could win, but I think Timothy Chalamet might win because he's also the future. The Hollywood rises on his shoulders as Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and Harrison Ford's getting older. They need, Leonardo DiCaprio's not a spring chicken anymore. They need stars, so maybe Timothy Chalamet might win it, and because he learned to sing like Bob Dylan, learned to play the guitar like Bob Dylan, and he pulled it off where you're like at times like, is this Bob? You believe this is Bob Dylan? So, but Adrian Brody's did a great job. But yeah, so I think Timothy Chalamet would win Best Actor. Also, case in point, when Adrian Brody won the Oscar, though, he did not win SAG and he did not win BAFTA back in 2001. It was Daniel Lewis won BAFTA and SAG and was considered a lock, and also for Gangs of New York. And the song for Gangs of New York by U2, Hands Across America, was also considered a lock for Best Song. And Miramax and Harvey Weinstein, at the time, Scorsese had never won an Oscar. And so they had all these full page ads and giant, billboards shaming the Academy that it's a crime that Martin Scorsese does not have an Oscar. And the Academy responded by, oh, these 2 locks, like Daniel Lewis and Hands Across America, they're not locks anymore because now Adrian Brody won Best Actor for The Pianist, and then Best Song went to Eminem, and he didn't even show up because he didn't think he was going to win. He thought U2 was going to win. So you had Barbra Streisand, who presented the Oscar for Best Song. She was like, well, we accept this on Eminem's behalf. So anyways, so I that's why it's possible that, also Adrian Brody, he won his Oscar, got $20 million to be in King Kong with Peter Jackson, and I think he went through a career of people didn't want to work with him, and then he started doing like direct to video movies, and then so he's got a comeback again. Hollywood likes a comeback narrative. Here's his comeback. So if it's true for Demi Moore, is it true for Adrian Brody? Possibly, right? So But yeah, actress for Emilia Perez. Kieran Culkin is winning Best Supporting Actor for A Real Pain as well too. He is a lock. Now, Best Supporting Actress, it's a lock. It's going to be Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. She's won all the guilds, the BAFTA, even the Golden Globes and critics, which does not matter. But the guilds and BAFTA, she's won it all. She's hands down. Zoe Saldana is winning Best Supporting Actress for Emilia Perez. Kieran Culkin is winning Best Supporting Actor for A Real Pain as well too. He is a lock too. So supporting actor, supporting actress, it's a lock. Kieran Culkin, Zoe Saldana. Okay. Best adapted screenplay is going to be Conclave. This is a lock. He's been winning everything. And the best original screenplay, A Real Pain, Jesse Eisenberg. He's a talented actor. Everybody loves him. He's written an amazing script. Now, Sean Baker could win this for Honora. In the past, this would be the award that Honora would have won. But with Honora being the front runner to win the 90% odds to win picture and director, I think the Academy is going to want to spread the love a little. And Jesse Eisenberg, like we saw with Get Out, Jordan Peele won this award. Kenneth Branagh won for Belfast. Especially the Academy, they like actors who also can write and can write well. So I think Jesse Eisenberg, A Real Pain for original screenplay, and then Peter Strauss for writing Conclave for adapted screenplay. Cinematography, the Cinematographer Guild, the ASC Awards, gave it to Ed Lachman for Maria. That's a biopic about, with Angelina Jolie. That was a surprise because people didn't have that. People thought, is it going to be The Brutalist? Will it be Dune Part 2? Now, Dune Part 1, Greg Fraser won for Dune Part 1. So I would have thought maybe The Brutalist might win some cinematography for LOL Crawley. But I think Ed Lachman has been doing movies since the late 70s. He's never won an Oscar, and I believe the Guild, because we have a precedent. They did this with Roger Deakins with Blade Runner 2049, and so it's due. And so I think Ed Lachman is probably going to get this. I think he's worked with everybody, a lot of people. So I think he's well liked. So he's probably will win this award for Ed Lachman for best cinematography, and then best costume design. This could be Conclave or it could be Wicked, and I feel like it can go either way. I feel like they also may not want to let Wicked go to empty-handed, so it might get costume design. And then best film editing, I think it's Conclave or Honora. I think Conclave has the edge, so I would give it to Conclave for best editing. And because Sean Baker, the writer, director, producer, is also the editor. So if he wins this one, he'd probably win all four, But I feel like Conclave has the edge for editing, and then that would give it the edge for best picture. So, and then best production design, this could be Nosferatu, it could be Conclave, could be Wicked. I again tend to think Wicked might get this because they don't want Wicked to be empty-handed, but I think Conclave might also have the edge for this as well too. Best score, I would think Brutalist, that score, ba-da-da-da, it's very heightened in score. Though the Conclave score is, it's very nice. It's very well done, and you can tell this score is good. Like a lot of times we have scores from movies in the past that become iconic, or they get used a lot in trailers or showing movement, and I think Conclave score is going to be that score that gets used a lot. But The Brutalist is certainly as iconic, so I'm kind of thinking Brutalist might get the score because they don't want it to get empty-handed. So the Brutalist might get the score because it is iconic. It's what you think about. If you only watch the first 5 minutes of the movie, you hear the score and like, whoa, this is a powerful score. So a lot of people who don't want to watch Brutalist because it's 3.5 hours long, may just put it on and watch the first 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, best score. And then best song. This is okay. There's this movie called The 688. It's a Netflix about an all-black female troop in World War II by Tyler Perry. Diane Warren wrote the song, The Journey, and so I feel like The Journey's gonna win because Diane Warren's most nominated, never won an Oscar. Although she did get nominated. She got an honorary Oscar years back. But so I think because there's two songs of Emilia Perez, and there's a documentary about Elton John's, and he wrote a song for that documentary, and it's not that great. I mean, Elton John has great songs, iconic songs, but the one he wrote for the documentary, it's not great. Sing Sing has a great song, but I don't know how memorable it is. I don't know how many people saw it. So that's why I feel like Diane Warren's going to get this. It's a weak year for songs. So the most nominated actress, just give her the Oscar so we can move on and stop talking about it. And best sound, I think, is going to be Dune Part 2. Best visual effects, I believe it's going to be Alien Romulus. Though it could be a Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but that wasn't really that big of a movie, so I don't know if that even if that made more money, maybe. I mean, Dune Part 2 made a lot of money, and that has great visual effects. But I think the Alien Romulus was like small budget for Hollywood standards, and how they, so I think that's gonna play. So I think Alien Romulus for best visual effects. Best animated feature, I think it's gonna be Flow, but it could be The Wild Robot. Who knows? And this is telling because Flow is also nominated for best international feature, so that shows it has a huge international love for it. So that might win best animated feature over The Wild Robot. But I know. And then best documentary feature, it's gonna be The Porcelain War, for sure, hands down. Best international feature, I have I'm Still Here. It's also nominated for best actress and best picture, so there's definitely a lot of love for this. And I think this is probably going to get best international feature. It's let's see, best animated short, I think it's going to be Magic Candles. It's a very well done little cartoon short. Best documentary short, I think it's going to be The Instruments of a Beating Heart. That's really good. Although there's a one on Paramount Plus short that's nominated called I Am Ready, Warden. So I look to that. That could, because it's more readily available on Paramount Plus. But The Instruments of a Beating Heart is similar to last year's short about children in an underprivileged city falling in love with playing musical instruments and stuff. And then best live action short, I got The Last Ranger. That's my personal favorite of the 5 that I saw. I did thought I Am Not a Robot was really well done, and the man who could not remain silent is very powerful as well too. But The Last Ranger kind of like had a beginning and an end. The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent was very short, and I felt like it was part of a larger piece, and then it whittled down. But where The Last Ranger and I'm Not a Robot actually felt like they were complete stories. All right, thanks. So Oscars are on at 4 o'clock today, and they should be over by 7:30. Hosted by Conan O'Brien. So I will do another one of these videos later tonight, because I'm going to be like 8 o'clock. The Oscars are over at 8 o'clock. By 8 o'clock, they're long over. So I probably do another video about recapping who won. So let's see. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. I don't know. Let me know if I should do more of these. All right.